It has been 453 days since now 16-year-old Sebastian Rogers vanished from his home in Hendersonville. His disappearance sparked national headlines, but now his father says the case is losing momentum. With National Missing Children's Day coming up on Sunday, he is raising his voice and demanding urgency. News 2's Caitlin.
I went and talked to neighbors, and every single one of them, every single one, welcomed me. And if they had video surveillance, they gave it to me. The only person that would not talk to me, as the only person that had something to hide and wouldn't talk to me. You know, she has a son that's hiding and waiting for somebody in the dark, late night on the 25th. And there needs to be some explaining for that. I'll just leave it at that.
That we are going to keep searching, we are going to keep looking, we are going to find him, and we are going to bring him home.
Since we first aired the video last month, authorities have said no evidentiary value.
It is of no evidentiary value. It is of no evidentiary value.
Can you tell me what those lights are?
No,
Why?
because the investigation remains ongoing.
Yeah, I'm working on behalf of Sebastian. I am not, my client is Sebastian, and they're the guardians that have the ability to sign.
It just started. Hi, Dad. I know this is gonna sound weird, but tomorrow's picture day. So could you send some decent clothes over to me so that I can wear the decent clothes and be handsome for my birthday with all decent clothes? Mom.
Because our heart is missing. He is my world. I need him. I need him back with me.
Right now, that is not something that I believe we're privy to at this point with law enforcement.
Okay, I'm going to try that again. That's the second time I did that. Okay, here we go. Thank you to everybody being here. Welcome. I keep doing that for some reason, turning off my mic. I'm going to get a bunch of stuff in chat now saying, I can't hear you. Anyway, welcome. Tonight's show, we're going to go over, there's been a lot of stuff going on in the last 48, 72 hours. Obviously, Seth was on the interview room yesterday. Very emotional. Great interview. Of course, we love Chris from the interview room, Chris and Karen. That was awesome to see them take the time to help Seth and push out Sebastian's story. But today, we're going to go over, I'm sure a lot of you, as I heard last night, Elevated Truth, I guess you call it a rant or whatever, went live. I want to be careful because I don't want to really get into the drama of stuff, but although we are going to dive into it a little bit. But he went on the platform Kick and did a live, I don't know, was it 2 days ago, 2 or 3 days ago, correct me if I'm wrong, and dropped some bombshells. Now, I think some people are taking that because we'll go over what he said. I think what he said, at least in certain aspects, again, I didn't see the whole live. I just got some of the clips that were posted on Twitter. But he talks about the trash can, and he gets very detailed about it to the point that I actually had to go look because I have video of the trash can, of course, in the same neighborhood, the same exact trash can, just a few minutes earlier before it comes on to Stafford. And everything he says that you can hear and see that they do is spot on. And I will show that. I'll show you guys exactly what it looks like. I don't have the actual video, of course, from the neighbor, but anyway, we've kind of gone over the trash bag and the trash bin. And of course, the rumor is that it was heavy. And then we kind of started speculating maybe it was not the trash bin itself, but the trash bag, because there's one that's sitting not next to the Proudfoots, but next to the neighbor next to Proudfoots. It's only like 10 to 15 yards away. And so we thought maybe it was that was that took the 2 garbage men to carry it and lift it. But now with what he said, makes a lot more sense. Means we go back to the trash bin. And I'll play that here in just a bit. Let's see here. Just make sure everything's set up right. And again, thank you to everybody coming in here. I appreciate, again, all the love and support you guys show. There is Chris and Katie. We got wind that they were at the casino, Mint Casino in Kentucky. And so I just wanted to put that up there because you can see, obviously there's 2 different photos, but we can see Crispy here. I mean, he does not look to be too happy. Looks miserable, in my opinion. Let me know what you think in chat. But overall, two main things we're going to go over. He talks about dash cam because apparently, he's clearly spoken with Crispy quite a bit. And boy, he says he's recorded everything. And man, what I would do to be able to listen to some of those phone calls. But he talks a little bit about a dash cam. So I thought we'd dive into that first as people are still filtering in. And then we're going to get into the trash can because now that we know it's not the trash bag, but it was the actual trash bin. So it was Katie and Chris's trash bin that was heavy. And in my opinion, what that points towards. I know he kind of talked about how, well, I don't want to jump too far ahead, but he kind of insinuates that maybe Sebastian was in the trash bin, but I think that could be a sign of something else. And again, we'll kind of go over the logistics of, a heavy trash bin.
I ran all over the house, outside, inside. I looked in every closet.
Within minutes they were here. They responded within minutes, and here we go.
So as Chris says, here we go. As if he was ready for it. Just wanted to throw that in there.
No, I live every day hoping that he's somewhere.
Okay, so again, I did not see the entire live. He took all of his lives down off a Kick, from what I understand, and just certain clips are popping up on Twitter and some YouTube channels. So the first part, like I said, I'm going to focus on the dash cam just a little bit. That kind of points to a certain scenario. I know not everybody believes he made it home, and some people do. I was on the fence. I mean, I was kind of thought he did, and then now I kind of think he didn't make it home. But let's listen to what he's got to say about the dash cam. Warning, there is some language. I tried to just narrow it down to specifics, but Mr. Elevated Truth here doesn't have much of a filter. But yeah.
Can come back. But you also lied to us.
Ooh.
Both of y'all did. That's right, Katie, you too. You told me, Clue, and Cletus that the dash cam in your car is activated by movement on the outside of the car.
So that's interesting. So what that is something radar technology that dash cam particular models have, where when it's parked, so you have your dash cam and it's parked, and even though the vehicle is off, it's just like a Ring camera, where if there's any movement in front of the car, even though, so let's say if it was parked at Texas Roadhouse, anybody that walks by in front of the car, and if they had the same camera, because a lot of times they come with the front and rear camera, not all, but basically what he's saying about that is it would, if there's any movement in front of the car when it's off, it triggers and records. So that's what he was kind of saying there. But then he says Chris told him something different. So let's see what he's talking about here.
Which is why we always stood on the belief nothing could happen in that garage. But see, what happened was Chris got to talking a little bit too much on a video. And he said it only activates when you open the car.
which would then just suggest it's one of those dash cams. Again, I'm not a dash cam expert, but would mean it's just kind of a more basic traditional dash cam where it just hooks up to your vehicle, and when you turn it on, then it activates. I know some you have to push the button to start recording, but I think now a lot of these newer models, and correct me if I'm wrong in chat, I'm sure somebody probably has one. You turn it on and then it records as you're driving, and when you turn it off, it stops recording. So, according to Elevated Truth, he was told that they had one particular kind of model of dash cam that even when the vehicle is off, if there's motion, so obviously Katie's vehicle is in the garage, and there's kind of talking about a theory that if maybe Sebastian was moved into the garage, whether alive or not, if it was near the front of the vehicle, and if there was one in the back window, I'm not sure, but it would trigger it to record. And then he mentions that
were your trash cans outside that night, or were they in the garage?
That it was just kind of a basic model. I don't know how it's better to say, but one that does not have the radar. I forget the exact wording for it, but the sensors that detect motion when the vehicle is off, and it will record up to like 10 to 20 seconds before and after, something like that. So anyway, that's what he was kind of referring to. So touch on the timeline. Obviously, last seen at Texas Roadhouse Sunday night. They get there a little after 5:30, have their meal. Not much conversation. Katie then does take 2 photos of Sebastian. One when he's not really looking, which is kind of weird. And then one when he is not, when his mouth isn't full of food, as Chris said before, or lied about, that they couldn't use that photo because his face was full of food. But we now know, because of this, that she took 2 photos, one where he wasn't really looking, and then one where he was just kind of sitting upright, which would have seemed like a fine photo to me that they could have used for Texas Road, or for the Missy poster. Wow, we almost got we are building up here, almost 500 people in here. Again, thank you to everybody coming in. We're just starting. I'm just touching on the dash cam a little bit and the timeline. We're gonna get to the trash can. That'll be kind of the main thing. And then, for those that don't know, Chris and KP showed up on panel yesterday on Granny's channel. Again, most of you guys know I really don't watch other channels. I just get kind of notified. And oh my God. Yeah, I cannot wait to get into that. And believe me, Snarky Chris wants to come out because I am so frustrated with these people on the panel. Again, I have no grudge against them, but I don't understand why they don't ask, when they have Chris and Katie on, why don't they ask them the tough questions, right? And we'll get into that. But so just to continue with the timeline, and I'll get to chat here in just a second. I just want to get through this dash cam, but again, it looks like they have that dash cam. We've kind of pointed that out. Kind of looks like it's sitting up towards the passenger side. It's really kind of hard to see. It's you can kind of see it during the daytime when she's trying to park, and then when they get in the vehicle, you can see what appears to be the dash cam. What would be interesting is if they did have the radar, whatever they call it, technology, where it does record motion when it's off. Well, if Green Hoodie was walking by, although Green Hoodie really doesn't walk, I mean, it would have recorded all this, any motion near the car, if they did have that particular model or models that have that specific technology. So that'd be interesting. But anyway, moving on, they leave. We've talked about, the green hoodie and the weird exchange. And in my opinion, I think they exchanged phones. And you can see Katie putting in earbuds, clear as day, in my opinion. So then, let me play this.
That's right, Katie, you too. You told me, Clue, and Cletus that the dash cam in your car is activated by movement on the outside of the car, which is why we always stood on the belief nothing could have happened in that garage.
Oh, okay.
But see, what happened was Chris got to talking a little bit too much.
Okay. But yeah, here you can kind of see it a little bit. I'm assuming that's the dash cam. It's just the right size for it. So anyway, we've talked about that, and Katie putting in the earbuds.
All these names and da-da-da-da-da.
One of the rumors we've heard, and I kind of tested to see if there was any.
Both of y'all did. That's right, Katie, you too. You told me, Clue, and Cletus.
Sorry,
that the dash
I
cam in your
repeated
car
that.
activates when
Oh, here is the camera that he was talking about, the first one. It's motion detected parking mode, radar based exterior motion detected. And one of the models is ThinkWare. And yeah, that's the one that can record any motion when the car is not on. But again, according to Elevated Truth, he's heard two different versions. So, but it would be interesting if it did have that capability. What else did she capture when the car wasn't on? And did law enforcement? I'd hope law enforcement took that video. I mean, according to Katie, they went and took it a week later. Now, some of these, they have like the little SD card. Actually, I think probably most do. Unless there's like Wi-Fi, maybe it goes to the cloud. If anybody knows in chat, I guess I could have asked ChatGPT. I know a lot of these, at least kind of older models, that you just put an SD card in, and then, that fills up, and then you switch it out for a new one, or record over the old one. So anyway, let me grab chat. Let me continue playing this. But we're going to get to the trash can here in just a minute. I just want to touch on the dash cam just a little bit more. Ashes to Ashes, Sebastian Strong. Thank you so much for the $4 super chat. I appreciate that. Let's see. Oh, I need to put it on live chat. There we go. And of course, thank you to those that send jewels and stuff. I don't know why I always say it, make it so small in chat for me. Cajun Juju, good to see you. Almost 12 months. That's so awesome. Thank you so much, Cajun. There's more. Why can't I see the others? Oh, there we go. There's Donna. All day today. Seth's words. Oh, this is where I want to pause it. Seth's words keep spinning in my head. I can't imagine how difficult it was for him not to hurt someone in that house. Yeah, so for anybody that hasn't seen it, again, Seth was on the interview room yesterday for 2 hours. A great live. They really mainly talked about Seth's experience the first few days that he was there at the house. There was a few new things, at least for me, that shocked me. At the same time, didn't. Such as Chris saying, and I think this was on day one. Correct me, maybe it was day two, but I think it was day one. Crispy said to Seth, "What are you gonna do if this thing goes sideways?" Which is just like, what the F? So yeah, and then of course it got very, very touching and emotional at the end, with that live show. Tractor says, Snarky Chris, KP, CP, where is Sebastian? Enough is enough. Bring Sebastian home. I couldn't agree more. Enough is enough. And wait till we get to the stuff with, with them on being on Granny. Because Chris straight up lies I mean, straight up lies. It is so obvious. You guys will see it. And they don't even call him out for it. I mean, he literally, yeah. Anyway, don't get me started. Well, do get me started. But anyway, back to the timeline, because I just want to go over this a little bit. They'd leave at 6:25 or 6:26. We'll just even it out at 6:25. If you Google it now, it says it's a 15-minute drive back home from Texas Roadhouse back to their Stafford home. At the time when I took a photo or a screenshot, it was 16 minutes. I guess it depends, with the traffic, if there's an accident. But anyway, 15 to 16 minutes. There are a couple of different ways you can go. You can take this way, and then there's another one that's basically, I think, the same amount of time. And that's where you kind of go through an intersection with BP, which there was an alleged sighting of 2 SUVs, one allegedly being Katie's. But what's interesting is from Texas Roadhouse to that BP, well, it is 6 minutes. And there was a rumor, and again, it's a big rumor, so huge grain of salt. But there was a rumor that there was only allegedly 6 minutes of audio inside the vehicle of Sebastian. So take that for what it is. Maybe there was 15 minutes of recording, but they could only hear him for 6 minutes. Maybe, again, there's so many scenarios you could play,
Sebastian is actually heard in
but
the vehicle.
I think it's definitely possible that she could have easily stopped at one of these smaller intersections. And since obviously the camera is just facing the road and not the side or back, they could easily move Sebastian out. Could stop at a BP or near it. And then I find it interesting that when I did make a thumbnail of it, Fisher, of course, got real upset and, of course, had to make a statement on Twitter about it. And that's how I always kind of gauge if I'm in the right ballpark, because Fisher's always the gift that keeps on giving. But anyway, KV says, it's important to note that there's definitely a pull-off place off the first route you showed. Yes. As a matter of fact, Silver's, if I recall, one of the screenshots I think is from Silver's. Is it this one or just before? Pops up really quick. Come back to this one more time. But yeah, what KV's talking about, and it's somewhere I think around this intersection here before BP, where it's just a really, one-way road. And as you can see, it's a lot of farmland. And so, not a lot of commercial, residential homes. And yeah, you could easily, there's tons of different little spots over here. If you wanted to move him out before he got home, it's certainly possible.
Hey, by the way, I have dash cam footage. Actually, in the vehicle.
Sorry, I'm trying to find that one, but anyway, so now moving to getting home, and let's just look at the time frame, and then we'll slowly get over to the garbage can here in just a minute. KV says, yeah, he's spent an entire afternoon searching that spot.
Then on Sunday.
Yeah, thanks to Silvers, he's been everywhere.
Sunday being the day before he disappears. He is observed taking the trash out pretty late at night. I can't remember if it was like 6 or 7, but it was.
So here is, remember, this is Sweetie Pilo that spoke with the neighbor with the camera, which we're going to be speaking a lot about this camera, because it relates to the trash bin and everything that Elevated was talking about. And these neighbors that live obviously across the street, who have a Ring camera that faced the Proudfoot's home. This is a screenshot from that morning with the trash truck, but they obviously caught many things, including the person taking out the trash can. and all that. And so here, it's interesting. She never got a specific time, which I thought was interesting. Although we get specific times on when certain lights go out, but yet there's always certain areas that are vague, and one of them is when Katie actually got home. I mean,
Pretty
we'll
late
look
at
at
night.
the time frame.
You know, I can't remember if it was like 6 or 7, but it was somewhat late at night. I guess if you don't get your trash out early, you're not gonna you're gonna miss the opportunity. So the trash guy comes in like
Beta.
so early.
So here would be the typical timeline. So we see them leave at 6:25, 6:26, but we'll just round it off. And it's a 15-minute, give or take, drive straight back. According to Katie, you know, in the interview with Heather, she says they went straight home. So they should have gotten home at 6:40, maybe 6:45 at the latest, if she went straight home. But again, we don't have a specific time, except for one person mentions a time, and we'll play that here in a second. But let's listen to them. And keep in mind, I didn't want to play obviously the entire interview, but they just got done talking about watching this video, the neighbor's video, and certain timestamps, and watching what was allegedly Sebastian taking out the trash can, right? Which would have had a timestamp the entire time. So let's see what they say when asked about this. And I think this is very important because it's like, why are they vague on certain timestamps? And I think this one's a big one. So let's listen to this part real quick here.
A conversation with you instead of having to get everything, you know, everywhere else. Definitely.
And we went home straight from Texas Roadhouse. And we were home for approximately 15 minutes before he took the trash out. And he is on video, and the FBI was able to clear it up and confirm that it's him. Even though you can tell it's him from a mile away because of how he runs, it's just, you can tell from his mannerisms. The second you look at it, it's him running, but still.
So he took the trash about 15 minutes, and that was about what time was that?
Don't know exactly off the top of our head.
What?
So they were just said that they had looked at the footage, and she would have had the Life 360 app. I mean, she would have had at least 2, maybe 3 devices that could have told her exactly what time she got home, and yet they're vague on that. And I find that very interesting. And I almost wonder if they told the neighbor to be vague on when they got home. And then keep in mind that after they get home, there's a 15-minute window, or approximate 15-minute window, until allegedly Sebastian takes out the trash.
No, you told him to go to bed at about 9, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Harley says stop 30 road, which is yeah, real quick. We're gonna get to the trash can here. Let me pull this up here real quick here. And directions there. Yeah, so I think stop 30 right is, yeah, this road here. So Texas Roadhouse being here. And yeah, I mean, oh, that is not what I wanted to do. Back that up. Oh. Of course, it's going to do that to me. All right, let's try that again. But yeah, there's the one way you can take them home, and then there's this other one, and both, especially if you go down Center Point Road, you know, there's a lot of area where, you know, it's not much residential, a few little areas, but a lot of open fields. And yeah, the Stop 30 Road, I mean, again, you look at Drake Creeks Road. Oh, they updated it. March 2022. But yeah, just kind of especially at that time of night, you know, if there wasn't much traffic. There's a lot of little turnoffs up here. You know, could have stopped, had a vehicle waiting for Sebastian, could have stopped, let him out, and no one be the wiser. But anyway, yeah, thanks for mentioning that. So moving on. So if we were to go with the time frame that would be alleged according to Katie and what we know of, then the trash would have been taken out at approximately 7 p.m. if she went straight home. And then according to Katie, 15 minutes, approximately 15 minutes later. So we should have allegedly, if the recording was what they're saying is right, we should see some individual taking the trash out around 7 p.m. But then we have Sonny, who said this.
And they left there.
This is the former sheriff, the one that sadly passed away. But he said this I thought was interesting.
They went to their house.
Right.
We saw them go in the house, and then 6:20 maybe, he comes out and takes the trash to the end of the road.
So he says 6:20. Now, even in this interview, there was a time change on March 10th. So obviously this happened on February 26th. So about a week and some change. There was the spring forward, right? So I do wonder if that 6:20 was really supposed to be 7:20 and he was just off by an hour. Let me know what you think in chat. If that's true, that means she would have gotten home later than she allegedly claims, because she says she drove straight home, which would have been 15, you know, maybe add or take away some minutes, but well before 7. But
Comes out and takes the trash to the end of the road, the end of the driveway.
But he said 6:20. Now, I'll play devil's advocate. They leave Texas Roadhouse at 6:25. Could he have been thinking about that timestamp? It's certainly possible. And he said 6:20, thinking of Texas Roadhouse. But I do wonder, especially because, again, in that same interview, they do mention the spring forward time. So does make me wonder if that is true. Then did it take her longer to get home than she claimed to the former PI for Seth? And now we're going to get to the trash can. And again, we've got almost 700 people in here. Thank you to everybody taking the time out of their Thursday evening. I promise it's going to be very good. I've got a little bit of inside information. Then we're almost halfway to our goal for Snarky Chris. Trust me, Snarky Chris wants to come out, because wait until we start listening to Crispy. Again, if you don't know, I don't know if this is, let me know in chat. This may be the first or second time KP and CP have actually come out on a panel since the lawsuit. Maybe they have before and I just haven't heard it. Usually someone lets me know, but again, you know, there's so many platforms, you know, like Kick. I don't know how many true crimes are on Twitch, Rumble, stuff like that. And anyway, but yeah, so let's talk about the trash can here, and let's get into
in the house, and then
So I'm gonna put a visual up and play Sonny's recording one more time so you can hear it, because it's very important on what he says on the events that happen, right? Now at this point, remember, Sebastian would have been home. And for those that don't know, this camera, now this is AI generated. It is of the actual Proudfoot home of about the proper angle, although the ring camera would have been back further, so we would have seen more of the front of the home. But this is, again, AI generated with actual imagery. So it is all basically, you know, the real deal. It's just kind of because their ring camera, I've mentioned this before, but anybody that's new, it has nighttime mode, which means it's going to record in black and white, as you would see here, and it records motion detected events. It also records 24/7, but any motion that happens, and again, I mentioned this time and time again, but just anybody that's new, if any lights kick on or off, because it's now in nighttime mode, and if it's close enough to the camera, it's going to trigger a motion event. So it will record. But anyway, let me go full screen here. And again, thank you to everybody. Now we got over 700 people in here, nearly 800, I think. Again, I just grabbed somebody that was carrying a trash can. Again, wasn't meant to be like funny or anything. I just had to quickly grab just a picture of somebody taking a trash can out. But here's Sonny, and here's kind of a reenactment.
6:20 maybe. He comes out and takes the trash to the end of the road, at the end of the driveway. And we see him go back in the house, turn on some lights in his bedroom.
Okay. So that's what's interesting is, now remember, he's supposed to be home for at least 15 minutes before he takes out the trash. Now, I've asked this before in chat. Let me know, because I know there's a lot of parents in here, grandparents, etc. You've had a long day with your teenage son or teenager, your child. Other than maybe coming home to use the restroom, I would think that child will go straight to their bedroom, because his Nintendo Switch is in there. Now his phone was found on the counter, but maybe his phone was in his bedroom. Well, actually, no, if you never made it home, probably that phone was just sitting on the counter the entire time. But I just find it odd that why wouldn't his bedroom light have already been on when they had just gotten home from Texas Roadhouse? If you guys get what I'm saying. So they get home, they park in the garage, right? And they're home for at least 15 minutes before someone comes out and takes out the trash can. I think it's interesting that, unless, I'm sure maybe you need to use the restroom, but other than that, I would think he would have gone to his bedroom and would have kicked on that light, and then mother go, hey, by the way, you need to take out that trash. And says, yeah, my son goes, yeah, again, I'm not a parent, but I just think for that amount of time. I also bring it up because, again, if you go with the theory that this was actually Katie doing this, it makes a lot of sense that she's trying to allegedly, show proof of life. So you see a person take out the trash that's allegedly Sebastian, and then they go inside, and then what's the next event that happens? Sebastian's bedroom's light turns on. And that would be the perfect, ruse to make, law enforcement, whoever's covering the case, to think that that is Sebastian, taking out the trash, and then, oh, there's his light turning on. That must be Sebastian, right? Mary says, you were awesome. Oh, thank you so much, Mary. Sally says, last time was February. Chris was on panel. Yeah, that was well before the lawsuit. Lawsuit was in July. Kind of end of July. One was filed on the 15th, and I think the other one was filed on the 20th, and then I think we heard somewhere on or around the 20th. Yeah, so for anybody that's just coming in, yeah, they were on panel, both of them, I don't know how people do it. Again, I have no grudge or no issues. I just don't know how people do like 7 to 8 hour live shows. Pretty crazy, but anyway, but they were on for quite a while. I tried to take some highlights from it, and trust me, there is some interesting stuff. But now let's get to the garbage truck. And trust me, I've got some really interesting stuff for you guys. I even got video, not the video that Elevated Truth is talking about, but I have that trash truck and how it sounds and what it looks like on the other street that same night, just, on the Kellen Ave, the other street. So I'll play that for you guys so you guys can gauge how much do you think Elevated was telling the truth. I think he was telling the truth. He's very detailed. And when I watched the video of them on the other street doing it, I'm like, oh yeah, he's pretty spot on. And of course the title says, is this proof that Sebastian never made it home? And we'll get to some of the arguments.
That's it.
I mean, already we've just argued some of them here. All right, so I'm going to go full screen. This is on Killen Ave. For anybody that doesn't know, let me just back this up. No one's seen this before. Again, this isn't like evidence, but so again, you have Stafford, Sebastian's home, then we have Killen, and then we have cameras over here that captured the garbage truck. The garbage truck goes up Killen first, and then goes up Stafford. So I have a video of it in 3 minutes approximately. Let's see, 5:12. This one's at 5:09. This is what it looks like and sounds like. And then we'll listen to what Elevated Truth said, and I'll even play the video again so you guys can gauge how much you think he was telling the truth. Again, the only thing I think people are kind of getting that he was kind of pointing towards is that Sebastian ended up in the trash bin. I don't think that's the case, and we'll go over that when we get to that point. But Poppy, thank you so much for the membership. Trying to multitask here, but anyway, here we go. I'm going to go full screen so you guys can see this. This is from that night. Again, this is not the same street. This is across the, the street next to it. But this is the trash can. This is from that night, that morning. And here we go. There you go. You see the guy wheeling it. Notice how you can hear the hydraulics. Notice how you can see the guys easily carrying the trash bins over to it. Remember, I guess I was kind of debating on whether I should play this clip first and then, or play what he says. But anyway, let me back that up. You can already see one of the trash guys up ahead. And I'll show you guys what kind of trash truck this is. So here is just a close-up of what kind of what that's like, this trash bin, because there's so many different kinds of trash trucks. One just have the forks on, one driver and a fork on the side that just picks them up with the fork. This one has 2 loaders, so, and then of course kind of driver and a secondary man, and then they, instead of if it was just one driver and the forks, obviously I had to go down one side of the street and then come down and do the other side of the street. Well, with this, they can cover both sides of the street. And yeah. But here's what it looks like when the compactor kind of blows up. Not blows up, but... I don't know what else. You gotta get the Dr. Phil in the I'm going to tell him your whole life story. Now, give me a social. Hey, Girl 218. Give me a social. I'm going to go, let me get social. So that's kind of what he was talking about, where when the compactor, he was saying the compactor was having issues or something like that.
Why was it when the trash can came to pick your...
So now we get to the clip people have been talking about. So I'm going to play it now that you've seen this, right? Chris, on what part, Jazz? Sorry. There's a lot of chatters in here, so I'll see if I can find Remember, I put the FBI report out, which, I mean, I didn't have this knowledge. There's always, new stuff coming out, but let's play this. Warning, there might be a little bit of language. Again, there shouldn't be too much, but.
Trash up that morning. And the trash truck is coming down the street from about 7 houses up, so they do catch things on camera, just for the record. And we watch the 2 trash guys on the back of the truck jumping off, grabbing those trash cans with ease. Picking them up, flipping them, throwing them up, throwing it on a little thing, nothing, quick as hell. Can you tell me why when they got to your...
So, as you can see, what he's describing is what we see on the other street. And again, this is a screenshot from that camera that points at the prop foot home. And we know that a lot of people watched the videos from this neighbor. Obviously, even Steve Fisher got his hands on it because he's the one that posted this screenshot. But yeah, this is the same trash truck. This is 3 minutes before. And yeah, you can see them with ease. You can hear the hydraulics. Everything that he's mentioning is spot on. So that's a great question, security. If I had more time, so yeah, it's a great question. And we'll cross that bridge here in just a second.
Trash can, the guy went to jerk it and it pulled him back. Can you tell me why we heard him drag the trash can until finally he was able to jerk it onto its back wheels? Can you tell me that why when it was put on the hydraulics on the back, you can hear the entire, which you haven't heard any other time in this video? Can you tell me why all of a sudden you hear the hydraulics shift down?
And obviously he's talking about the hydraulics of the lift itself, not the compactor, but the lift, the 2 lit things that stick out on the back. And he's talking about how it's having trouble lifting the trash bin. And again, everything how he's saying it, the words, very very detailed. And again, it's exactly what we see and hear on the street next to it 3 minutes prior. So I think what he's saying has some validity to it.
Can you tell me what the loud thud was that we heard hit the inside of the trash can?
Now, I do not think it was Sebastian. I know that that's kind of where he was kind of going towards, but we'll kind of present an argument to that here in just a minute. But I just wanted to play that because I do think that is what he's saying. It's pretty legit. And then Crispy yesterday, when he went on Granny and was asked about this, he flat out lied. And it just, to me, that just even solidified what Elevated Truth said.
Or can you tell me why when they hit the compactor button, not only did it go down 1 compression, not only did it gear down 2 compressions, but it squealed. It was so hard to push down. And Katie Proudfoot, when I asked you on the phone, what did you throw away that was so heavy? And your answer to me was,
so I don't know. And it's a great question, Miss Kelsey. I mean, it is a good question. My theory would be, obviously, he's with the, he knows a lot of those people, right? Clearly speaks with Chris. Clearly Fisher got a hold of some of this footage, obviously. So I wouldn't be surprised if it got maybe some of the motion clips got maybe passed around, or maybe shown, maybe, he went over to somebody's home that had it. Again, I'm only speculating. I don't know. But to me, how he describes it is like 100%, like, hydraulics and everything. It's spot on. And then when you add in what Chris says yesterday, it just, yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember.
And we know, like, the rumor of the heavy trash bin has been out there for the longest time. And so I don't think it's too far of a stretch that they would have an issue with the trash bin. And again, there was 2 different sources. There's one that actually contacted, let's see, I forget both sources. One of them was one of the trash guys told one of the extended family member, and then that got out to a local near the neighborhood. And that's how they found out that, yeah, they, the trash bin was heavy and they had issues with it. So yeah.
But I'm sure it was just a slip of the mind.
So here's the argument, right? So there's Sebastian and Katie. Obviously, Sebastian, I mean, I was probably his size at that age. I'm tall, I'm 6'3", so I've always been kind of on the skinny side, even though I got 200 pounds on me, being 6'3", it's a lot to fill out when you're tall. And we know Katie, being big and strong and, allegedly practice MMA or whatever. And multiple people have seen the video of the person taking out the trash. And one thing we've never heard anybody say is like they saw them struggling with the trash bin. So here's the question. If the trash bin was that heavy, which seems to be this, more evidence of this, rumor, I think, this, this story about the trash bin, I would think, if it was Sebastian and it was a heavy trash bin, I think that person would have been having trouble moving that trash bin. But we've never heard that. We hear that the person just kind of, I want to add words into it, but moves the trash bin. There's no mention of any kind of struggle, and then they skip back into the house. And if anybody has ever accidentally filled the trash bin a little too heavy, this thing that happens to this guy is exactly what happened to me. And this is what was allegedly in the video, except for him following. But how you had to kind of scoot it, and you couldn't really be on the wheels too much, because if you start to tilt it, especially it starts to get on the wheels and it's super heavy, this happens. And I know exactly what this guy did, because I did the same exact thing. 1 for 1.
Mommy!
1 for 1. What did he do? He put all this dirt into the trash bin. Didn't realize he was maybe resodding or something. I did the same exact thing. The thing fell on me the same exact way and actually got pinned. I thought I broke my leg because my leg was all tweaked when it landed, but same thing. But anyway, I just think that gives an argument to Sebastian not making it home, and he's not the one that moved that trash can, because if it was as heavy as it seems like we're getting info of, I think it makes more sense that it was Katie taking it out, because you would have had something like this happen, in my opinion. But yeah, this is literally exactly me, not to get sidetracked, but it's crazy because I know it's dirt in there. I just know, seeing that this, because I was helping resod my aunt's lawn, and I just got carried away with throwing dirt in the trash bin, filled it right to the brim, and I went to tip it and fell right on me. So anyway.
Elaborate about circumventing, lying about.
Okay, so now let's hear what Crispy has to say. This is awesome. And I don't know why these people on the panel, again, I'm not trying to start drama with any of these people. Why don't they ask the tough questions? And how come when there's a just obvious lie, which you're going to hear in just a second, why don't they call him out for it? It is absolute bullshit. They let Crispy get away with BS. And Snarky Chris is going to start coming out. But again, I think to me that goes to the lines of, if that's a heavy trash bin and these guys were having kind of issues with it, and we don't hear anything about the person that's taking the trash can out having issues. They just kind of gingerly walk it out. Adding the gingerly in, right? But
the trash truck that day and what was being referred to were.
So here, let's listen to Crispy and his story. And holy shit, it doesn't take him more than 2 seconds to just flat out lie. And there's like, at least 4 people on this panel, and nobody says anything.
what that is.
All right, so please elaborate about.
And again, this is Crispy from yesterday. So, so as far as I know, according to chat, this is the first time they've came on since the lawsuit. Again, they were really asked about the lawsuit much that it was a 7-hour live. I couldn't listen to everything. Holy cow, I don't know how they do it. But anyway, here we go. Sorry to interrupt. I just given some context. First time hearing Crispy since the lawsuit.
About the trash truck thing.
Okay, that the trash truck, the trash was heavier than normal. Allegedly, there's a video where you can hear sound. It's struggling. You can hear.
Okay.
Oh God, it's so super. If you can hear,
no,
you get it.
Yeah, I'll be happy to address this. First and foremost.
Go ahead, Crispy. Let's hear this. I can't wait. How long is it going to take you to lie?
Whatever video that you're speaking of, we haven't ever seen it. We have.
Okay, it took him, after the question, it took him less than 3 seconds. Now, let me back that up, and I won't interrupt, but I just wanted to let you know. Let me repeat that, because holy shit.
Allegedly, there's a video where you can hear sound. It's struggling. You can hear. Oh God, it's so super. If you can hear. You get it.
Yeah, I'll be happy to address this. First and foremost, whatever video that you're speaking of, we haven't ever seen it. We have seen a video of a trash truck, of our trash truck that stopped in front of our house and picked up our trash.
This one here from the screenshot from your PI? You're talking about the same video, you fucking idiot. Sorry. Snarky Chris is coming out. Holy shit. Do you see how quickly he lied? And do you think any of them take 2 seconds to think about what he just said? He said, yeah, there's a video, there's alleged video of this trash truck. I haven't seen that one. But I have seen the video of our trash truck. Well, Elevated Truth wasn't talking about a trash truck in the neighborhood, or a different case. He's talking about this video. Your trash truck, your trash can, your home. You fucking idiot.
Allegedly, there's a video where you can hear sound. It's struggling. You can hear. Oh God, it's so super. If you can hear. You get it.
Yeah, I'll be happy to address this. First and foremost, whatever video that you're speaking of, we haven't ever seen it. We have seen a video of a trash truck, of our trash truck that stopped in front of our house and picked up our trash. What we were even told by law enforcement was that when they talked to the trash guy, the guy says that the trash seemed, and listen to what I just said, seemed to be a little heavier than normal.
Okay, so you just lied 5 seconds ago, and now it seemed to be heavy. Seemed? Either it was heavy or it wasn't. Like, I don't know how seemed would be in there. Either the trash can was heavy or it wasn't heavy. I don't know how seemed. But I love how he just, let me get that out there. It seemed heavy. Right? Get out of here. Pinocchio's nose. Yeah. Yeah, no kidding. Oh my God, we almost got 900 people in here. Thank you to everybody coming in. We're about a quarter halfway into the show. But yeah, I'll play that one more time, then we'll move on because there's a bunch. But that just blew me away because again, he's trying to make it sound like this video didn't have audio. This Ring camera has audio, right? Has audio. And again, it would have just been like the camera that I showed you of the same exact trash truck. I did try to do what somebody mentioned earlier to see if I could hear that from across the street. I'll play it for you, but
whatever video that you're speaking of, we haven't ever seen it. We have seen a video of a trash truck, of our trash truck that stopped in front of our house and picked up our trash. What we were even told by law enforcement was that when they talked to the trash guy, the guy says that the trash seemed, and listen to what I just said, seemed to be a little heavier than normal. But they don't.
Seemed, right? That's the word you want to come up with, seemed. You couldn't just said it was just a little bit heavier than usual, but seemed. Oh, Crispy, you never fail to amuse. Never fails. The heavier it wasn't. Yeah, now the question was, again, I don't think Sebastian was in there. Again, I'm not a forensic expert. I could only imagine it. I think it'd be very bold. I think the trash can was, again, I don't know for sure, but I think the trash bin was already outside. So again, you would have to kind of move Sebastian past the garbage. Always mix those up. The garage lights and toss him in. I mean, yeah, you could have came out the door, put him in there. I think it'd be ballsy move. And I would think there'd be even evidence of him in the trash bin, not even at the field, the dump, but I would think a body, again, not to get graphic, but I think this just kind of gives the argument. I don't think, again, there's always a possibility of anything, right? But I would think there would even be evidence left in the garbage compactor, right, of Sebastian if that scenario happened. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not a forensic expert, but I would think that there would be some kind of, maybe, again, unless it was like bagged up or something, I guess. I don't know. I do think, there was stuff that they threw away. I think it was their video equipment, allegedly, in my opinion. And just a bunch of other stuff that just ended up making it heavy. But the fact is that it was heavy, and that Sebastian versus Katie, who is going to have trouble moving that if these guys legit had trouble. So anyway, moving on.
Dumping. Law enforcement got a search warrant. They went to the landfill, had a cadaver dog, found our trash. I don't know of any video with a sound of a truck, its sound, what it makes. We don't know anything about that.
He just lied again. Boy, it don't take him long. This camera, this Ring camera, has audio. And I'm going to prove it to you here in just a second. So, again, I love to debunk and catch CP and all their crew in lies because they are terrible at it. Terrible. I'm going to prove this camera has audio.
So if there's a video out there with that, that'd be interesting.
Well, there is, and you've seen it. You admitted you watched it a bunch of times. You and Katie have came over, very interested on what this camera caught, because it caught them coming home, caught the alleged person walking out to take the trash, caught a bunch of lights kicking on and off, and then a door open for a certain amount of time. There's only 2 doors it could be, and at that angle, front door. And yeah. So about that audio.
I hope you turned it into law enforcement.
Okay, first, before I did the audio, I wanted to, and I just threw this in. So again, this is on the opposite street. I was wondering if maybe, now obviously if I had more time, because there was just so much to put together for this live show, I didn't get a chance to. I could try to enhance the audio. I don't know how much I'd capture. The audio on these cameras on this home are not the best, but here it is turned up, and as you can see, I try to line it up with the timestamp to see if we could hear the trash compactor or anything on the opposite road. Oh, let me go full screen here. Again, thank you guys for the jewels. Yeah, I agree. Hey, Sleuth-In. Crazy Bug, I'll tell you here in just a minute. So as you can see, it was at 5:12:41.
Is struggling. You can hear her.
Okay. So again, if I do get a chance, I'll try to enhance the audio. I don't know how much. I mean, I do have the other cameras as well that I could try to combine and enhance. Again, it's 500 yards. No, it's not 500 yards. 500 feet maybe. I'd have to look at the distance. I don't know if you'd hear it, but again, Crispy, let's listen to what Crispy says about the audio or their lack thereof on this camera, and then let's listen to what Sweetie Pilo has to say. And then on the panel, it was a bunch of people came on because it was a 7-hour show. This was yesterday. You had KP, CP. They popped in like a couple of hours in. Elevated Truth was there for just a second. It was mainly Granny, of course, Cluminati, but of course she had a different tag, which I'm surprised she's doing that because, allegedly you're not supposed to have banned YouTubers on your platform. There may be loopholes to that. I don't know. But anyway, continuing on.
Oh, God, it's so super. If you can hear you get it.
I will try to.
Yeah, I'll be happy to address this. First and foremost, whatever video that you're speaking of, we haven't ever seen it. We have seen a video of a trash truck, of our trash truck that stopped in front of our house and picked up our trash. What we were even told by law enforcement was that when they talked to the trash guy, the guy says that the trash scene
footage was at.
So remember, I think I grabbed the wrong audio, but remember he said this video didn't have any audio, the one that he watched. Well, that's bullshit. So remember, for those that have been following this case, Sweetie Pilo, she got close with this neighbor that had this Ring camera. And I don't think she actually saw the footage, but she was told like certain timestamps and what was on it and what was heard. And let's hear what she said.
At 5:12, the trash came. Okay, that would have been on Monday morning. At about 6:20, Mom comes out. It could have even been 6:30. It was sometime in that window.
So now she's talking about that morning, just after. So Monday morning, 6:30. Well, actually 6:20, actually. But listen to what she says.
Mom comes out. She sees neighbors. There's multiple neighbors outside at that point, and she starts saying, I can't find Sebastian anywhere. I can't find him anywhere.
That's on the audio of this Ring camera. So again, I don't know how. Moderators, let me know if you need me to slow down chat. Oh, you got it fixed. Okay, thank you. And again, thank you to everybody being in here. Try not to repeat this, but if you haven't already, please hit that like button. Really helps us out. But yeah, we're catching Crispy Lion. He was on the panel yesterday. Apparently this is the first time Crispy and Katie. I have audio both. I got some clips from both that we'll listen to. Katie sounds terrible. But Crispy literally just lied multiple times, saying, mention it is like two different videos, but really it's the same video. And then he even doubled down and said that this video didn't have audio, which is bullshit because we just heard Sweetie Pilo say, as Katie was coming out, she was screaming, I can't find Sebastian anywhere. And she was talking to one of the neighbors that was outside out here as she was coming out after allegedly finding out Sebastian wasn't inside the home.
Now, I don't think she's much said that part of the story, that she actually came outside of her home and she was frantic, I guess, looking high and low for her son. Then
the recordings you keep saying you.
Okay. So again, I don't have all of the clips from Elevated Truth live because again, he deleted, but of course there's been clips that have been popping up on Twitter. To me, the most fascinating one is the thing of the trash can. And again, I know he kind of makes it sound like Sebastian was in the trash bin and was crushed, whatever, and ended up in the landfill. I don't think that's the case. I think that actually proves that that trash can was heavy and that only Katie would be the one to be able to walk that out without having any issues. but he goes into very specific details about the hydraulics and stuff. Not to repeat myself, but just for anybody that missed that. And I showed exactly, you can hear the hydraulics of that same one happening minutes before on the street next to it.
Oh, you don't? What about at the raid? Do you have the
So I threw this in. I was trying to get stuff in kind of chronological order, but we're kind of just gonna start diving into some of the stuff that was said in the live from yesterday from Crispy and Katie, because probably a lot of you may not have heard it yet. But this was also from Elevated Truth the other day, and he talks about the raid. If you guys remember, that was kind of, I think, brought up. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think that was brought up with, oh shoot, I forget the YouTuber's name. The one that went out and interviewed Chris. Let me know in chat. I cannot think of his name. Forgive me. But I think he mentioned something about a raid, and then we were wondering if that was just kind of made up. But here's him talking about it. And I think this happened sometime in early in the year of 2025, I believe. The raid. If anybody knows, let me know in chat.
recordings of those? Or are you going to come out here and say I'm lying about that too, motherfucker?
Nerdy. Thank you.
You know, the morning that the raid happened that you said at the Proudfoots that y'all got a phone call about and you drove over and watched it and y'all walked up to the door as they were raiding it and they told you to leave and you told me you had it all on camera?
And he's referring to Clue and Cletus, my favorite people, right? I try not to beef with other content creators. We don't really do drama on this channel. But once in a while we have to get our hands dirty. And I really get peeved when, it's one thing if you want to defend the other side, but it's the other thing if you start trying to muddy the waters, and we'll get to what I'm talking about with their fake, their bullshit reenactment and all that stuff. But yeah, does anybody know? I think, didn't he say that happened in 2025-ish? And it was something about the cameras, allegedly. That was, the rumor as far as the reason why they're there. Again, there could be other reasons, but so again, he kind of validates that more because again, when we heard that, I believe, like I said, from Nerdy Addict, again, I know allegedly said Crispy told him that. I was still kind of on the fence with that. Okay, so I just wanted to add this just to show Crispy's true colors. We've heard his true colors many, many times before through tons of leak calls. I only want to put this in. This is kind of disturbing, so just fair warning. This is Crispy. Now, I don't know the full context. Someone can let me know in chat. I don't know if, because he did, he did like a 4+ hour live on Kick, dropping these alleged bombshells with the trash bin and stuff. So I don't know if he got like a voicemail during that from Chris. If you know more about it, let me know in chat. But this is what Chris said to Elevated Truth, allegedly.
You don't have any ambitions in life to do anything great and big other than sit on this fucking computer and talk shit about people. You want to talk shit to people? Do it to their face and see what that gets you. Because it's probably going to get you 6 feet in the fucking ground. Because I guarantee you come near me, lay a fucking hand on me. I dare you. I'm begging for you. And because I promise you, breakfast, lunch, and dinner ain't enough meals for you to bring to that fucking fight. But I'll bury you in the fucking ground and let your kids watch. And then when it's all said,
I will bury you in the ground and let your kids watch while I laugh. Again, I hate to go into that kind of stuff. You guys know I'm more on the forensic side of stuff, but man, that, again, we've heard so many leak calls from Chris showing his true colors and knowing what a piece of garbage he is. and what poor Sebastian had to go through. And what is with Chris? Like, he's threatened me at least 2 to 3 times, and it's always him like, I dare you to come to me. I dare you to come to me. Step foot on my property so I can get my hands around your neck. But yeah, I'm gonna bury you while your children watch. I mean, you got to be pretty vile, man. Yeah, sorry, the audio's not the best. Again, that's the best I can get. But yeah. Anyway, moving on. I just had to play that because that's just, that's Crispy. That's him. That's his true colors. That is them. And that's who was around Sebastian, who was afraid of him, Or it makes me sick. It makes me feel so bad. So bad for Seth and, of course, Sebastian.
And I did not either.
So here's Katie. First time hearing her since the lawsuit. Again, I'm just kind of throwing some things in. There's also some stuff that I'm going to touch on that they tried to twist around. So there's more stuff. Again, I just learned of the live earlier today when I was putting my live together, and this is like a 7-hour live, so I had to kind of just grab certain clips. But yeah, here is Katie. Man, she sounds really different in the beginning. I almost wondered if it was someone faking as Katie.
Sebastian is missing. And the only thing that we want is for that him to not be forgotten. For him to continue being searched for.
Well, while you're on this panel, which again, no offense to smaller content creators, we all started at 0 subscribers, But Seth was on the interview room, which has a very big audience. I guarantee, I'm sure if Crispy and Katie wanted to go on the interview room, I don't want to speak for, Chris, the interview room, but I'm sure, if they had time, I'm sure they would try to want to hear the other side, right? To be fair. But I doubt they're going to do that, right?
And for him to come home.
I know it doesn't. It doesn't. But as she goes on, it does start to sound like Katie. But yeah, I was really sus at the beginning. I'm like, oh my God, is someone actually faking to be Katie? You can tell Chris, you can tell it's him. But yeah, it's as she goes on, you can kind of start to tell. But yeah, it does. It doesn't sound like her in the beginning. I'll start that, and I won't interrupt. But there's more stuff that they mentioned that we're gonna debunk.
The only thing that we want is for that him to not be forgotten. For him to continue being searched for.
Yeah,
and for him to come home. I will continue to say thank you for everyone that continues to keep my son in their mind and their hearts. And I don't fault anyone for having their theories, their suspicions, their speculations. If anything, I'm grateful because that means that people are actually giving a damn.
Interesting. I have something that I'll relate to that here in a little bit. Because I think even Crispy mentioned something like that. And yeah, we'll get to that. That'll come back to bite
No
me.
one is perfect, myself included, my husband included, everyone on here included.
Yeah.
My husband is not a predator. He doesn't prey on women either.
Now this, again, I'm not getting into the other nonsense. Again, in some of this live, they Elevated Truth kind of mentioned something about, because remember, they're allegedly swingers, and it's kind of interesting. They that gets brought up, and they don't really deny it. Well, I'll let you guys decide. But anyway, yeah, we'll move on from that.
But I just wanted to come up and clarify that because I'm so sick to my stomach.
Are you?
I'm so sorry.
Are you sick to your stomach that Sumner County has done shit for your son and you guys are just content? I mean, look at you guys. You guys are at the casino. Not upset about how the investigation has just gone nowhere. You're content with that 2.5 years out?
I am sorry too, and you are in my prayers. Always, have always
Hey,
been.
Jess, you there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a okay, I'm never taken testosterone, so I don't know if anybody in chat can speak on that. But Seth kind of mentioned that it had to do with anger. But again, like I've never known anybody on that, like personally. So I'm not much knowledge on that stuff.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I might kick on my AC a little bit.
Can anybody hear me?
I can hear you.
I can hear you.
I don't think they.
Thank you.
Katie came out here to defend her son. No, not for any other reason.
Yeah, I don't care about the rest. Sebastian deserves the respect that people know that he's not a freaking monster, that he's not a bad person. He is a human being. He is a young man, and he is my child, and he deserves at least that much respect. He doesn't deserve to be accused of. He doesn't deserve to be accused of that nastiness.
And I don't know why she's going there. Maybe there's some context I'm missing. The only thing I can think of, she's talking about the lawsuit, and SA, and maybe whatever. I don't know. Again, I don't want to get too much into that because that's just terrible all the way around. But just interesting that she's going that direction. She's upset about that.
Yeah.
And neither do you. You don't deserve it either.
No,
Right.
it's not true, but
and to be fair, it's not fair to make Truth out to be a monster for how he interpreted information either. I know people aren't going to like hearing that, but everybody takes things from different perspective, different life experiences. You ever see the study where everybody witnesses the same crime take place, and then they ask everybody, "What did you say?" Somebody saw a red hat. No, somebody saw a blue hat. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree, Lacey. I agree. It's all gone too far, but I'm still saying at the same time.
Okay. Something else is going to be. I cut these up here. So
this case has been heavy for a lot of people. I mean, not more than Chris and Katie or even Seth, but it's been fucking heavy.
Well, the karma train's coming. You guys are nervous. You can tell.
there's a lot of people that care about Sebastian, and we're so grateful for that.
Really?
Yeah.
We'll keep
I
that
do
in
agree
mind.
with that. I think there's things that don't need to be said on the internet. And Granny, when you said it's been heavy, I agree with that too. And I also agree with what's heavy is walking into the
Okay, I am just going to let this play. Oh, this bugs the shit out of me.
Proudfoot home and in Sebastian's room and seeing, to be fair, Katie light up looking at the pictures on his wall, memories that they have, and as good parents took them places to make those memories, but knowing that their kid's not there. So if I want to go hang out with Katie, if I want to go over there and drink wine or get my hair done or my nails done, I'm going to do that. Stay angry.
So I guess they go out and get their nails done. Her and Katie, I guess best buds now, right? One of these days, oh man, what was said in there? Just gotta bite my lip for right now.
As you said.
But I believe the wine. You're probably getting. Well, again, I don't want to get nasty.
Said they weren't arrested.
Still get
Said that
snarky, but I
yesterday.
don't want to get too nasty. Okay, so this is where they bring up the swinger thing. Again, I try not to get too like into the real dirty stuff, but the swinger thing. The only reason I wanted to play this is because they kind of bring it up. And again, I do believe that there is some truth to this because there's been rumors since almost day one. And of course, this is the neighbor across behind them. And when Crispy was not allowed to be around Sebastian, and so that month of February up till he went missing, Katie was all by herself with Sebastian and needed help. And allegedly, she had a friend, the wannabe cop, who also has the first same name, but we call him Carly. So here's them bringing up the swingers, and I thought it's very interesting because here's their response to it.
How they're swingers, and that he came on to Sebastian. I'm sorry, that Chris Proudfoot came on to Granny, and everyone knows it. And Moon is in cahoots with Chris Proudfoot. It's fucking whacked. But we were all sitting there like, even if they are swingers, who cares? What does this have to do?
He didn't exactly say swingers. He said that how their arrangement of their marriage. He said, that's what he said.
The arrangement of their marriage. I mean, they just admitted to it. In that, let me know if that's what you got from it. They literally just admitted. Let's back that up one more time. Again, I hate to get into like that kind of stuff, but I only bring this up because it relates to, in my person, my, next to Crispin KK, this is my number 3 that, was involved somehow. And that is the neighbor directly behind them. And rumors had it that they allegedly were close friends. But here, one more time. Yeah, and please try to be respectful in chat. Try to make it easy on my mods. I know some of this stuff is sensitive topics, and none of my mods want to block or delete messages. Yeah, we don't want to be talking about SA. If we can leave SA out, please. I know some people are probably trying to add context. Some people may miss what they're talking about. So, hey, Kiki. Hey, Mob. Sorry I'm late. No worries, Kiki. And thank you. Huge special thanks to you for emailing me. Let me know about this. So, yeah, I'm going to replay this one more time. And listen to this. I mean, they just basically admit that they had a, and this has been rumored from day one, first weeks.
And that he came on to Sebastian. I'm sorry, that Chris Proudfoot came on to Granny, and everyone knows it. And Moon is in cahoots with Chris Proudfoot. It's fucking whacked. But we were all sitting there like, even if they are swingers, who cares? What does this have to do?
He didn't exactly say swingers. He said that how their arrangement of their marriage. He said, that's what he said. He didn't exactly say swingers. That's what I'm saying. Just things were said that could be implied in so many different ways.
All right, to me that implies, an arrangement of marriage, which again, there are a lot of couples out there, and if that's your thing or their thing, who am I to judge? But again, I think that just still goes back to them. So I added this in. I should have added this a little bit earlier. This goes back to Katie and being like, if you have any evidence or anything you come across, and there's also Crispy, I think, says it too. We'll come back to this, but let me just remind you. Oh, I think I have the audio while I'm playing this. Let's see.
Sebastian's case is just
Oh, yeah, I do have the audio. Okay, so let's listen to what she says and just remind people of what we got uncovered over last winter. Only 7 months ago, 8 months, gosh, time flies. But in my opinion, this is, as far as like physical forensic evidence, this is the latest find. And then we'll listen to Katie, and then I'll reply on what they said about this stuff. For those that don't know, we are looking just beyond the construction zone. This is the this is the construction site. It's dark. And then beyond that is the cemetery. Remember, they always kind of push that narrative that Sebastian made it into the construction site. The pond is over kind of here, right? Even though they twisted the facts about the dogs went everywhere. Yeah, they did go to the retention pond, but they also went south. They went north. They went everywhere. There was no consistency to the dogs. But anyway, listen to what Katie's saying and what we uncovered, and then what their response was.
become pure chaos. And the least, I don't know what to do anymore other than just keep asking for awareness and praying that people remember to keep an eye out for him, and that if someone does say something, that they will actually say something and that it will bring him home.
This took months, hours upon hours, hundreds of hours of looking at footage at night over and over and over again for months, getting my hands on new footage that overlooked the construction site and the cemetery, and we find activity going on.
I know this doesn't offer
the 25th and the 26th at 3 a.m. in the morning, between 3 and 4, and then nothing goes on before or after. There's nothing. And that cemetery is a very small cemetery. It should be nothing going on. Nothing does go on before those days or after, or before those hours or after. But on the day before he goes missing and the night of, or the early morning, however you want to present it, you have suspicious vehicles in the cemetery. They know that I discovered this stuff because obviously we were going over it in November, I think starting from October all the way into January, February. We even ended up getting canine dogs out there. And then, of course, we've got the gravesite as well that we scanned. And when they got wind of that, I didn't get a chance to get the audio of the response, but they thought it was stupid as hell. And as a matter of fact, Crispy threatened, that was one of the many times that Crispy actually threatened me about me if I showed up on his property, that he wanted to get his hands around my neck. So that was their response when we did all of this. And again, remember, it wasn't just me studying the videos. We, pulled our money together and got the canine cadaver dog out there and the GPR guy. And it was a joke to them. So it pisses me off to no end that KP and Crispy can come up on these panels and say shit like that. You can go F yourselves.
I just saw somebody in your chat saying that they have a niece or a nephew that's been missing since May, and they asked for advice.
Oh, I see it. My goodness.
Now, I didn't listen to this whole live, but they had every opportunity to ask about the lawsuit. Because clearly, there is legit facts in there because they come from the CPS reports themselves. They don't touch on it ever. Why can't these people on these panels again, I'm not trying to single Granny or any of these people, but anybody that has Crispy and Katie, why don't they ever ask these guys some tough questions? Right? So here's another thing.
I didn't even know that. She's been missing since May. Any advice from my family, I guarantee what the one advice will be.
And so we have 1,000 people in here. I will recap. If you came in late, I'll do a recap. We're kind of at the tail end of the show, probably another 30, 40 minutes. And I'll kind of recap. But again, I'm just taking some clips that were played by Crispy and KK for the first time since the lawsuit, and what they're saying.
Well, you'll know. Avoid social media. Stick to
Legitimate organizations, Nick Mick, the news, any.
Nick Mick. So for those who don't know, that's National Missing Child Association. I cannot believe she just mentioned that. For those that don't know, Seth dropped a bombshell where when he reported Sebastian and see if there was any updates, that he found out that he was the first one to call in. I don't know, like the time frame, if it was months out or whatever, weeks out. These guys never reached out to the National Missing Child Association. So the fact that she had the gall to mention that, man, the nerve. They pat them on the back. That's why. Yeah, they do. And again, they always say, we're out to find the truth. And again, I'm not singling anybody on the panel, but it always seems to be the thing like, hey, we want to know the truth, but yet, well, you guys have them on the panel. There's many questions, and I've got a few that I would have asked that I'll pull up here. And I dare these people to ask Chris and Katie.
Organization. Hell, On Patrol Live does a missing kids segment. Reach out to them.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, while you guys were on that live, again, I don't know what time. It sounds like she starts early in the morning. Meanwhile, Seth, that same day, which was yesterday, Seth was on the interview room. And I guarantee if you guys reached out to any big YouTube channel, they would have you on. Guaranteed.
I keep seeing this come up. And of course somebody brought it up.
So the reason why you're seeing an old case that I worked on, Dylan Rounds and Candace Cooley here, is what they're about to say right here about the FBI.
Now, how could you not want to work with Seth to get the FBI involved? No parent would be
FBI is involved.
Thank you. And the FBI has been involved since when?
The beginning.
The very beginning. I don't know how you guys missed that. The
No,
FBI has
they assist.
never not been involved.
They're just not the lead investigator, but they've been involved since the beginning.
Which means they're not going to do anything unless they come across information from the leads.
Yeah,
And still are.
they have the reward. They have his flyer up. They are involved. No parents can force the FBI to get involved, hon. They don't have that ability.
Unless there are certain circumstances. Obviously, if it goes across state lines, child abduction across state lines, FBI takes over. Something happens on federal land. Again, I'm not a lawyer, but yeah, those are two main ones. But here's what they're not thinking about. Let me finish their thought.
I was going to say, I thought all missing kids cases, the FBI is involved right from the beginning.
Right. They can't take over. Like the parents can't say, hey, you know what? I don't like what you're doing. Please, take over FBI. They don't have that ability to make that.
Okay, so the reason I have this example, and I played this because it pisses the shit out of me, is obviously if those that have been with me for a long time, back in 2023, 22, as when Dylan Rounds went missing. Now, I think it was Weber County, or maybe it's Davis, one of the two. I might switch them. It's irregardless. One county was the lead. They did not want to play well with the FBI. The FBI was there to assist, but they didn't really want to play well with the FBI. That is a common issue. We've seen it in other cases. Many cases. And so what Candace did is she went on every YouTube channel you could think of course mine as well. And what she did is got it into the neighboring county, who then worked with the FBI. Obviously, the FBI didn't take lead, but they were more than willing to use the FBI's resources. The second they did that, arrest was made, evidence were taken. But again, they were very lucky because Brenner, the guy that was the sole suspect in the murder of Dylan Round, sadly, he was throwing evidence away while the original leading agency was just sitting there watching. He was getting rid of evidence right in front of him. And she was so pissed off. And then within a month or less, she got the neighboring county involved, and then they worked with the FBI. So it makes me so mad that they're so just
they offered to take
content,
over Nikki, and the
and
parents.
then they make excuses for Chris and Katie. It pisses me off so bad that they do that shit.
To ask that and we turned it down. That'd be great to know.
They offered to take over Nikki, and the parents said no. Really, you believe that? You think the FBI says, "Hey, do you mind if I take over?" to the parents?
Yeah, they says, but
I mean, I'd love to know which FBI agent you're referring to. Asked that and we turned it down. That'd be great to know.
Yeah, I think that's kind of silly to assume that to be true, and that they get a choice in it.
I mean, here's what people have to
Oh,
understand. The
she's
way
saying
it
local
works.
said no.
Okay, so the way it works is based on jurisdiction at this time. The lead investigation, they run it, they ask for extra help, and they do their thing.
yeah, but sometimes they don't ask for extra help. That's the issue. A lot of them want the credit for themselves. Or if they did probably a piss poor job, they don't want this case to be solved because they know once it breaks, people are going to find out what a shitty job they did at every turn.
We don't have control over that part. We don't have control over any of it.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it came from Seth or that lawsuit that the FBI is not involved. I think that's where that came from, but I'm not positive.
I don't know why he would think that, but I won't speak on him with
Right,
respect.
they can't speak on that. They're saying that that Sumner County turned down the FBI taking over. That still has no bearing on Chris or Katie or Seth. They can't say otherwise.
Anyway,
they can't say do it or don't.
I mean, they pulled law enforcement agencies from all over the state.
Yeah,
They
a lot
even
of that
pulled
was
Department
to
of
use their
Corrections
resources to search for Sebastian. I'm sure some of that, obviously, TBI using their 3D scanner. That's a question I dare this panel, if anybody's watching from that panel. Ask Chris and Katie, why did TBI come into your backyard and use a 3D scanner? Why? What was that used for? It's only used for forensics, not used for missing children. It was brought in for one purpose. You know what that purpose was. I dare that panel to ask. And I guarantee you they know that TBI was in their backyard with the 3D scanner. That's nearly cost 6 figures. And that was brought in for a very specific reason. The 3 a.m. lights.
Officers involved. Like, I don't, I mean, the National Guard was here. I mean, like I said, it was the largest man or search for a person in Tennessee state history. So I don't understand. I mean, just because somebody may or may not like.
I just want to address the chat. Looks like most people are being respectful. Again, please make it easy on my mods. They don't want to delete or block any comments. A lot of channels have this try not to bring up other channels unless I'm mentioning it, and we're on the topic of a particular channel. It just sometimes people take that, you give an inch and people take a mile, and then it's just we've had that rule for so long, we've just kind of stuck with it. Every channel is different, have different rules. We just ask that you respect those. Jane says, F Katie and Chris, we all see you guys and your ridiculous lies. Yeah, 100%. There's a few more quotes in here.
The way things
And then
went,
we'll recap.
or they didn't go in the manner which they thought they should have went. That's not us. We're not in that position. We don't make calls. We're the parents. And I'm saying this to Seth as well. He's a parent.
So here he makes an excuse that, like, listen to this. Let me play this again so I can.
The way things went, or they didn't go in the manner which they thought they should have went. That's not us.
So if Sumner County failed at doing a proper job, what Chris is saying is he is fine with that, and that it is not his job to stand up and go, hey, that's not cool. You guys aren't investigating Sebastian's case properly. You guys failed to follow up on this lead. He's basically saying, yes, we're content on, or we should be content because we're the parents and we shouldn't be doing anything except sitting on the sidelines. That's basically what he's saying. Let me know if you understood that differently. That's what I get. I'll play it one more time. We'll move on. There's a couple more quotes in here.
The largest man or search for a person in Tennessee state history. So I don't understand. I mean, just because somebody may or may not like the way things went, or they didn't go in the manner which they thought they should have went, that's not us. We're not in that position. We don't make calls. We're the parents. And I'm saying this to Seth as well. He's a parent. He doesn't get to dictate what law enforcement's going to do.
Yeah, but he doesn't have to be content and sit there on the sidelines and go, well, I'll just take it because they're not going to. He has not. Here's an example. We covered we did kind of an update on Lily and Jack, the two missing children out of Nova Scotia, right? The parents are updated weekly or whatever, both of them. And they've been doing press conferences and interviews constantly. 1 year anniversary updates. Can't believe it's been 15 months since that case happened. And those poor kids haven't been found. But they still get updates. Both parents. I guess I don't want stepfather. But you get what I'm saying. Kai, thank you so much for the $4.99. And just real quick shout out to, I'm just going to say Jackie because I try to protect people's names. Thank you so much for the Venmo. And thank you, Simpson, for the PayPal. God bless you. Thank you so much. And again, a few more quotes, and then I'll recap a couple of things if you came in late. But man, this live show just, and what they were saying just got completely under my skin. Oh, you're talking about Seth? I would say, if you're speaking about Seth, Canada, unless you're talking about clearly not doing their job and no communication. I mean, that's the biggest thing that Seth is voiced, is that he has not heard from the lead detective in, how long has it been? A year now? How many months? So, please correct me in chat. And it's way too long. And then what happens when you have tips? Who do you send it to? Because we know he sent tips out. Do you send them to Sumner County, who's supposed to be the lead? Do you send them to TBI? Do you send them to FBI? And then does that just get forwarded back over to Summer County, and then does that just sit there on a desk? You know, it's crazy. Okay, a couple more things.
Any better.
No,
I'm at least spot on.
Not for where
Your anniversary of Sebastian's disappearance and what fish sticks now.
then and
is there a
Light street. He has already admitted.
is there
And
a
then-
car?
I'm taking this as in reference to the Mob Cruise video.
Bet your
Yeah,
ass,
the one
Christy.
he's done 157,216 times.
No, I'm higher than that.
To go ahead and tell you that
Those are rookie numbers, Cletus. Those are rookie numbers.
the one lights and the time on the videos are actually wrong. Law enforcement has confirmed that.
No, they didn't.
The one looks like it's running down or something. That was actually the gentleman taking his trash can to the street. He has already admitted to that.
No, it wasn't. You effing liar. You effing liar. I cannot wait to take these quotes when the time comes. That karma train is coming. It's coming faster than you think. I'm going to bury you.
That was actually the gentleman taking his street.
Okay.
Is because the light.
About being in a fucking chair, right?
Okay, last
That's
thing
one
here.
of the things that pissed me off when I heard Laura say what she said. Well, when Clue goes and gets her hair and nails done with Katie, you know, that's da 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 da. You want to know the one thing I said the other day? What did I say on my show the other day? You guys that were there, you remember? What's the one thing that I said? You know, every time I do go somewhere with Katie, do you want to know what the fuck she talks about? Sebastian.
Right.
Yeah, but
Literally, we had our hair done. We had our hair done, right? What, 2 months ago or something? I'd have to
Getting your hair done, going to casinos. Are they ever going to pass out flyers? Are they ever going to promote the posters? Anything like that?
go back and look when it was. I don't remember. So you want to know the one thing that she said, and you want to talk about being in a fucking chair, getting your hair done. You're supposed to be looking glamorous when you get done. And she says something that literally hurts you in your heart so fucking hard. You're like, I want to fucking cry right now. And I'm not going to do it because I'm gangster. You know what I mean? But she literally says, you know, the one thing I'm so grateful for is that Faith still talks about Bubba. Bro, that shit broke my fucking heart. Sitting in the fucking chair, getting my
Now, what scares me is that Faith being around those two. Faith being Crispy's daughter. One more thing. I think there's one or two more things. This is my search from Dylan Rounds. I'm just showing some drone footage. There'll be a point to this here in just a second.
you in your opinion.
Well, to clarify,
Nobody-
I'll say
nobody-
it, Laura. First off, Katie's back up here, but to clarify, Laura was speaking what subscribers were saying, not what
Thank
she
you.
was saying.
Thank
She's
you.
saying this is what the chat was saying, not her thoughts on it. But I think, is it Chris now? Because I know
Oh,
Katie
I'm-
walked away
I've-
upset.
No.
honestly.
I'm still here with her.
Okay.
I'm
heard her
surprised how much
say
Katie was
the
talking in
background,
this.
Go ahead and keep the speculation. That means you're still, you know, he's still being thought of and mentioned. And
Correct.
So they doubled down on this speculation. They're fine with people speculating, right? So I don't know how much shit I've gotten from SF and even them with my speculation, right? Which is there's just true crime and YouTube and other channels, right? Especially on open cases, is putting whatever puzzle pieces together and then people speculating, right? So they doubled down twice in this, as far as I know, maybe more. But yet been criticized to hell whenever they're brought up. But here they are saying like, oh, we don't have an issue with it. Then they talk about channels and how they were deceived and how channels don't search or help. And so I just wanted to show an example and disprove this, and then we'll quickly recap and we'll read a little bit of chat. Sorry, guys. I've been trying to run through this. It's going a little bit longer than I anticipated.
So I think a couple of things, and I've heard bits and pieces from people sending us stuff about this rant that Truth went on yesterday or whatever.
That was 2 days ago.
Today, and I guess what I just caught and was reading, Truth mentioned a question and you didn't answer it. So I'm going to ask the question in front of everybody.
Oh, God.
Allegedly, He stated that I had sexual conversations or
Take me a
Yeah,
few.
somebody get the clips because she is
because
telling the truth.
I
That
will
is
be
what he
honest
was
with you,
insinuating.
dead on. Like if you want to come out clips, and then we'll see what you're talking about.
Sorry, that should have been cut out. I'm trying to stay away from that angle.
For me, truth don't speak for me. Truth don't speak for Granny, and he don't speak for Queen.
Truth don't speak for nobody but himself,
Right.
and
But
maybe his
nobody
wife on
else
some
does.
occasions. But
Nobody speaks for anybody.
Okay.
And he brought Queen Bee and Granny and all you guys into it. And that's why I came up.
That he is misrepresenting conversations that were had because, like,
everybody, that is your opinion. That's perfectly okay. Not one time have we ever come out and said, "Nope, you can't speculate on us."
Okay, so I think that's the third time now that he's mentioned. That's at least twice. I don't know if maybe that was because at least twice now. But of course, we know that's not true.
Not one time have we said that.
But I'm getting to the point of why I'm showing these videos.
I will say this: I do, and I'm a firm believer on this. Cletus did it pretty well. These cases should not go online. In the very beginning, the very first interview we did with Duchess, we were under the presumption that this community was about finding missing kids, not fucking drama. Not let's be assholes and whatever else, and let's.
Okay, so since Sebastian, again, I can't name them all, but before we get to Sebastian, my channel, again, unfortunately, I've been, now I'm feeling better, but, I've had some stomach issues for the last year and a half, but they're getting better, so I'm hoping next year I'll be able to go back out. Dylan Brown's case, I helped out, go out search, actually went out and searched with EquiSearch. The Aiden Clune case, which you're seeing here, which he went missing in Nevada, not too far from where Dylan Rounds went missing. Not a lot of clues. Nothing's ever been found of his after 2 years and going out there searching God knows how many hours, nearly killing myself and others, being involved searching. We found the first tangible evidence in his case in 2 years.
Truth mentioned.
And that was his pair of shoes. And I still think that case, I personally, sadly, I do believe he's out there. He just needs to be found. And I think I would love to finalize that one. Anyway, point I'm getting at is, yes, there's plenty of channels that go out like mine. Again, I didn't get to go out this year, but we go out and help cases. Usually, it has to be kind of cases that are closer to where I'm at, Tennessee, I'm not sure how many hours away. But in other cases, these are just two examples. But again, there's so many channels, in regards to this Sebastian case. You got Silver's on the scene. A lot of people just local, just out there searching that don't even probably have a YouTube channel. And I'm sorry if I'm trying to think of some other channels that I've gone out and searched. And if you want, you can mention in the chat. But the fact that he did that, I think it was just bullshit. That's just trying to change the narrative and try to muddy the waters that this case is entire drama. Oh, let's not forget that our community came together to bring out a canine dog and a GPR team. Right? Because we have an amazing community, the Mob Crew. And I'm so grateful. And, again, that evidence with this cemetery, literally, as far as I can think of, as far as like forensic video analysis evidence related to the Sebastian case, that is the most recent, as far as like a legit lead, evidence wise. And again, it was a joke to them. But yeah. So anyway, long story short, again, if you want to go check out the live on Granny's, if it's still there. Again, it's like a 7-hour show. Just to recap, I'll just recap the trash can thing if you missed at the beginning. and then we'll finish. But I think the argument, I'll play the clip from Elevated one more time in the trash can. And I know if you did hear the clip from Elevated, how he kind of made it seem like he thought that Sebastian was in the trash bin. I think with what we know, and you kind of add and you kind of think about, well, if the trash bin was that heavy, could Sebastian actually roll that out? And then, yeah, Katie, it's possible Katie could have put him in there, but I think it'd be such a bold move. And I don't think we ever heard that the trash bin was coming out from the actual inside the garage itself. I think we would have probably heard that, but again, I could be wrong. But anyway, here's what he said, and then we'll finish up so I can read chat here. Go full screen real quick here. Hey, Hobo. Hey, Sarah. Oh, thank you, Rob. I appreciate that. So this is the kind of trash compactor and how it works. Two guys has these hydraulic lifts here and the compactor. And
why was it when the trash can came to pick your trash up that morning and the trash truck is coming down the street from about 7 houses up? So they do catch things on camera, just for the record.
So he's spot
and we
on.
watched the 2 trash guys on the back of the truck jumping off, grabbing those trash cans with ease, picking them up, flipping them, throwing them up, throwing it on a little thing, nothing, quick as hell. Can you tell me why when they got to your trash can, the guy went to jerk it and it pulled him back? Can you tell me why we heard him drag the trash can until finally he was able to jerk it onto its back wheels? Can you tell me that why when it was put on the hydraulics on the back, you can hear the entire, which you haven't heard any other time in this video? Can you tell me why all of a sudden you hear the hydraulics shift down? Can you tell me what the loud thud was that we heard hit the inside of the trash can? Or can you tell me why when they hit the compactor button, not only did it go down 1 compression, not only did it gear down 2 compressions, but it squealed. It was so hard.
So again, I know that kind of points, he's kind of insinuating, that could have been Sebastian, but again, you got to think that'd have been tougher because remember, they're saying that Sebastian's the one that took out the trash can. Well, if it was that heavy, I just don't think he would have been able to. And I would think there would be forensic evidence in the trash compactor itself of something like that. Not only evidence at the landfill, but then when you hear Crispy talk about the camera, he lies twice, and I don't know which one's bigger.
The time change, right?
And so the reason
Allegedly, there's a video where you can hear sound.
Okay, last
it's
thing here.
struggling. You can hear.
Okay.
Oh God, it's so
Sure.
sick, If you can
No,
hear,
no, no.
you get it.
Yeah, I'll be happy to address this. First and foremost, whatever video that you're speaking of, we haven't ever seen it. We have seen a video of a trash truck, of our trash truck that's
It's the same video, you idiot.
stopped in front of our house and picked up our trash. What we were even told by law enforcement was that when they talked to the trash guy, the guy says that the trash seemed, and listen to what I just said, seemed to be a little heavier than normal.
Of course, he has to add that seam in.
But they dump it. Law enforcement got a search warrant. They went to the landfill, had a cadaver dog, found our trash. I don't know of any video with a sound of a truck.
And they weren't there at that landfill for very long. We've seen some that go on for much longer. So it does make me believe that they did find their trash. And I've heard that through the grapevine that they did find their actual trash. Again, take that with a grain of salt. But that comes from a fairly good source.
Its sound, what it makes. We don't know anything about that. So if there's a video out there with that, that'd be interesting. I hope you turned it into law enforcement.
But then he lies again here.
Law enforcement was that when they talk to the trash guy, the guy says that
I
the
bet
trash driver dog found our trash. I don't know of any video with a sound.
with a sound, but you know this ring camera has sound because
Picked up our trash.
Oops.
That part of the story that she actually came out, that part of the story, about 6:20, mom
Same camera.
comes out. It could have even been 6:30. It was sometime in that window. Mom comes out. She sees neighbors. There's multiple neighbors outside at that point, and she starts saying, I can't find Sebastian anywhere. I can't find him anywhere. Now, I don't think she's much said that part of the story, that she actually came outside of her home and she was frantic, I guess, looking high and low for.
So there, she confirms the ring camera has audio. It's so with him lying like that, and again, he lied right in front of them. And it blows my mind how they just did not go, wait a minute, you just talked about one video that is literally elevated truth talking about this video. I don't know what other video he'd be talking about, right? Talking about another neighborhood, another case, talking about this video. And then he says, no, but I've seen this video, the same video, obviously, and then double down and say, oh, well, I don't know about there being sound. And then we add in what we learned from Seth, even before Seth, we learned from Sweetie Pilo that KP and CP were coming over to this neighbor and they were watching the footage, and then according to Seth, he said he kept watching it over and over. I think in reference to the part where the person was taking out the trash bin. So, and that makes you wonder why, of the two people, out of Katie and the stepfather, who's been, a piece of garbage, why he'd be so interested in reviewing that, unless he's looking for any mistakes that they made, so then they can in the future then try to twist the story. So anyway, I think that about does it. We've been live for 2 hours. I do appreciate everybody coming in. Hopefully I got my argument across about Sebastian not being in that trash bin. But I do think what Elevated Truth said about the hydraulics and everything, seeing that the same trash truck just minutes before on the opposite street, we can hear them, we can see them, how quickly they're getting the trash. It's spot on. It tells me, I don't know how he saw the video, but clearly SF got his hands on it. So it wouldn't surprise me if it kind of maybe got shared throughout the group, on their side or whatever. Sassy, thank you so much. I think I forgot to shout you out for the other one. Thank you so much. If you did get gifted a membership, please thank that person if you could. And again, thank you to just everybody in here. And I appreciate everybody being respectful, and I understand that some of the topics I tried to negate. Yeah, the one that we see here, yeah, this is on Kellen. This the video I have. This is Kellen. This is from that morning. This is at 5:09. It goes up Kellen first, and then it goes up Stafford. It's so yeah, this is literally Jay McMurtry's truck. But yeah, let me know if anybody hears anything else in that 7-hour live show that I missed. Oh, one other thing they mentioned, again, and I think maybe this came from Elevated Truth, but I haven't seen the clip of it, as allegedly he talked about, or maybe I do have it, I just didn't put it in there. He mentioned something about the detectives looking at the, yeah, one last thing, because this falls in line with the trash, is that that they were looking forensically around where the trash bin had been located. He allegedly claims that they did some kind of forensic collection around where the trash bin was. So again, take it with a grain of salt. But if that was done on the first couple days, remember, you have the neighbor right here who's got the Ring camera, and they're still watching what's going on after he went missing. So that could have been relayed, to the group, and maybe that was shared in confidence, and then he got fed up and he spilt the beans. Titch. I'd have to see the audio. Again, I don't want to debunk Justin. I love Justin. I think he's a great content creator, great demeanor, great person. Haven't really spoken to him in a long time. But yeah, I been asked about that, and you guys know me. I always, especially if it's forensically, audio, video, I want to examine it. The one that I researched that was passed around, a year and a half ago, I went to the source, or the person who first spread it out online. Had to go get a membership just to get it because they put it behind a paywall. And then they saw that I became a member, and then knew that I was snagging that video, which was really weird. And then they emailed me and heard that I was a little skeptical on it. And then they threatened, not threatened my life or anything, but just threatened hey, I'll flag your video or whatever if you play it. But I told them well, I'm just taking the audio, so you can't really flag me. And I'm enhancing it. But with how sketchy they were, when I was trying to say, hey, I'm trying to figure out, because this doesn't make sense, because this is allegedly coming from, they're saying that the audio is coming from this house. This house, I can tell you 1,000%, at that time, their cameras did not have audio. So there are, of course, tons of other homes that have cameras, and a lot of them do have audio. So there could be another one out there that I haven't heard of. If anyone wants to send the link, I'll be happy to look at it. If it's that same one, I'll be honest, I did my research, and you guys know I'm honest with you guys. I'm not going to, if I feel it doesn't add up to, what I know, then, I'm not going to lead you guys along, right, if it's not real. And I'm not saying Justin knows it's not real and is doing that to you guys. There could be a different one. But yeah. But with that, I think we'll end it there. Thank you to everybody. Thank you to those that sent PayPal and Venmo. Sometimes I'll get one after the show. Thank you, and I'll thank you in the next show. Thank you to everybody that could donate. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. Oh, Show Poodles. I think I missed your gifted membership. Thank you, Show Poodles. Sorry I missed that. I think I got everybody. Unfortunately, the jewels, I can't go back and look and see who sent the jewels. I think that's dumb. I always mention that every live. But thank you for those that sent the jewels out as well. But I don't want to make any promises. I don't want to put anybody on the spot. But with Seth going on in the interview room, and with him I think he's kind of, with the lawsuit and everything, you know me, how I like to focus on the forensic side stuff, the video evidence and stuff. And I think it's, with Seth, I think he has to be very careful about what he may know or can speculate on because of the lawsuit. But man, it'd be really cool to have Chris McDonough come on from the interview room and have him on the show and go over some of the evidence and get his thoughts on it. right? Especially like the cemetery. I mean, all of it, but man, that would be awesome. So I'll extend an invitation out at some point. Again, I know he is super busy, but it wouldn't hurt to try. But I think the karma train is coming. I think they're starting to unravel. Again, I didn't listen to all of that live, but to me, it sounds like I think they're unraveling. And again, they had every opportunity. Like, just one more thing. Like, why didn't the panel ask about the canceled appointment that Katie made on Friday for Monday, and why she didn't reschedule? Why didn't the panel ask that? Again, for me, what was TBI doing in your backyard? So many. I can't think of this, but a lot of questions related to the lawsuit never were brought up. But yeah. Oh, thank you so much, Lorraine. I hope I pronounced that right. Oh, thank you, Sasha. Yeah, we tried to make sure who's speculating, using my opinion, and then stuff that we know for facts. Yeah, and that just pisses me off, really. Because, in that same show, they always go, we want to know the truth. We want the truth. But here you have the people that have answers, but why aren't you asking them the tough questions? So, it is what it is. All right, we'll do a pet outro. This is just, if you're a new member, you can set in pet photos, but again, this is just for the members. And I am so sorry, Sassy. I know that I think you said one of your pets died, and I'm so sorry. But yeah, we'll be updating a new one probably by the end of this month. With that, today's Thursday. We may do another live Friday tomorrow. I kind of need to make up some lives. So I'll try to set up a live. Obviously, if you're part of my Facebook group, because sometimes if you don't watch a YouTube channel, even though if you're subscribed, if you haven't watched it for like a week or so, I forget the amount of time. But even if you were set up for notifications, there's a certain time period. If it's over like a week or more, if you haven't watched, like tuned into a channel, it takes off the notification. You're still subscribed, but for some reason you're not alerted. So kind of a bummer, but I do get it. It's kind of a double-edged sword. So, all right, guys, God bless. And I'm sorry, I'm more of a visual guy. I do try to read chat here and there, but it's tough when you have a lot of people in here. But with that, guys, have a wonderful rest of your Thursday. We will see you likely tomorrow. And if not, very soon. God bless. Prayers for Sebastian. There's his poster up there. Always keep bringing attention to his case. We're here for Seth and Sebastian. We're going to bring him home, and I think the carbon train is coming. Good night, everybody. Oop, that's a little loud. Sorry about that. Again, thank you, mods, ladies, Sensei, Sassy, Pocahontas. You guys are legends. One of my main mods, Jennifer, sadly, has got a lot of stuff with health issues. Yeah, exactly, Jennifer. That's a great question. That's a great question. Oh, I appreciate that, Brandy. I always try to be as honest as I can with you guys. Again, thank you to those that sent jewels, and I'm sorry I can't shout those ones out. Good night, everybody. Thank you, Officer Cooper. Good to see you. I appreciate that. Fairbanks, thank you, sweetheart. Appreciate that. Kiki, Coffee, Crime, and Cats. Say that 10 times fast. Love that name. Cats are my babies. Thank you, lovely Shadow. Deanna, good to see you. Oh, two Deannas, M and D. That's. Thank you, Titch. I appreciate that. Thank you, Beach Gal. Good to see you, Gina. Thank you for tuning in. Donna, thank you again. Thank you, Laura. Oh, man. I always wanted to go to Australia. I love your guys' accent. Oh, my gosh. Hi, guys. Have a wonderful